Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is October 6th, 2022, and we are preparing for a huge move in the market. I know this is something we've said before on the channel. This is something that we've anticipated for quite some time, but there are reasons, plural, to believe that this is going to happen sooner than later. All right, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Obviously, we're going to have to look at the DXY, the US dollar index. We're going to also look at Bitcoin dominance. We're going to have a glance at Bitcoin dominance. And we're going to look at the SPX. Why not? All right, and any other altcoins that you guys want to look at. So let's get started. I hope you're having a great Thursday. All right, it's a nice and sunny Thursday here in the DC area. Okay, so Bitcoin. We've been dealing with this range for quite some time. All right, first let's pull out our range tool. Where is it? Where the hell is it? I don't know why I always lose it. Here we go. Okay. This is a range that we've been in for about 2 weeks, yeah? You see this? This is the top of the range. And we could say that this is the bottom of the range, okay? So right now, what's happening is that we're preparing to leave the range to the top side, from the top, okay? You're consolidating at the top of the range, preparing to leave the range at the top of the range, okay? So this is why I'm saying it's very likely that we get a breakout, okay? The 2 other times or 3 other times we ventured towards the top of the range, all right? This is the first time. Actually, this hadn't yet, this downtrend hadn't yet completed, so one could say that this one, shouldn't count it. So if just counting from when the actual trend, the actual downtrend was complete over here on the 6th of September, we visited the range highs once, twice, 3 times. This is the 3rd time, okay? This is the one and only time that we visited the range highs and consolidated at the range highs. That's really important, and I talked about that yesterday. Like, if you're looking to break a certain level, you have to build strength at that level, okay? This is exactly what we're doing. You don't just want to wake up at it, right? You want to spend time at it, and fundamentally what that means is you're giving market participants a chance to buy those levels and to sell those levels. You're spending time at those levels, okay? And thus far, in this... Is this really a 42-day range? Yeah, a 42-day range. Okay, in this 42-day range, we've spent almost 2.5 days, okay? 2.5 days at this range high, consolidating at this range high. This is why I'm saying it's very likely that we get a move up. I hope that makes sense, okay? So let's, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Too many hotkeys, all right? Let's get rid of this. Don't need this tab. Wrong chart. This is the chart we want. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Where is my... Did I remove my... I did. Can I get it back? I can't get it back. Okay, let's draw it up again. Do you want to draw it from here? Let's draw it from here. No, let's just draw it this. This is really the range that I think is important. Right here. Okay. And so, yeah, This is why it's very likely that we move up. Now, the other way we can look at it is use some indicators, okay? And, I don't make too much use of indicators on this channel. There's nothing wrong with using indicators. I think price action should be primary, right? And you should learn how to read price action, but using indicators to corroborate your reads on price action is perfectly fine. And here, I've laid down 3 exponential moving averages, okay? My 21, my 55, and 144. Okay, these are all Fibonacci numbers, right? The 21 is in yellow, the green is the 144, and the blue is the 55. What you should be able to see here on the 4-hourly time frame is all of these 3 have crossed bullish, right? So the 21 has crossed bullish over the 55 right there, and the 21 has crossed bullish over the 144. That's extremely bullish, especially on the 4-hourly time frame, which is not a small time frame. Yeah. So you have double bullish crosses. I'm not an EMA guy, okay, but when I do use EMAs, I prefer my Fibonacci numbers. And you look at these patterns, like they mean something. And I know a lot of traders out there, they exclusively use EMAs and have all these tips and tricks for how to read EMA crosses and trend changes based off of how EMAs cross and such and so forth. But that's something you don't see every day, okay? Your fast EMA, which the 21 would be the fast moving EMA, it's a smaller one, or the one that has the least amount of time, right? And the slowest is 144. Your fast EMA crossing the slow, both slow moving EMAs, is very, very, very bullish. And you have this consolidation resting on your 21 EMA. And what do we know about the 21 EMA? That is the bull market indicator on a given time frame. If you are supported by the 21 EMA, you're typically more than likely continuing your trend, okay? If you're under the 21 EMA, you're more than likely continuing that trend to the downside. And you can see here, ever since we entered this range right here, we were under the 21 EMA, bouncing down below it, kind of wicked above it, came back. We never really reclaimed it until this move right there, okay? So that's the power of the 21 EMA. Again, I think that you may think it's easier to use EMAs exclusively to do your analysis, but you'll find that it'll be hard for you to find a sweet spot in terms of what time frame to use and how to read these EMAs, because as you can see, it's not 100%. Like, you'll be below it, but then before, like, as it's transitioning, right? So to go from being below the EMAs to being above the EMAs, you have to put in a transition or kind of a some sort of consolidation period that is very tough to read, okay? And again, good trading, good charting, good reading always comes down to being able to read corrective patterns, corrective sequences that lead into impulses to the up or down side, right? That's why I said yesterday, and I've said this before on the channel, the key, the most important and significant job, or I guess the most important and significant task of any good chartist is to identify consolidation reversal sequences, right? Any sequence that is going to take price from inflecting from down to up or up to down, you want to be able to read that and then put in your buy or sell orders. That's pretty much what it all comes down to. Every idiot can read an impulsive wave to the up or down side. That's part and parcel of what makes a wave impulsive. It's easy to read. It's just going up and up and up, or it's going down and down and down, right? The actual skill and mastery and, like, the good trading and the opportunity lies in being able to read and ascertain those inflection points, those consolidation reversal patterns that yield those impulsive moves, okay? And we're in such a period, in my estimation, okay? If you zoom out on the daily time frame, right? This about 104, 100 and such days that we've been in right here for Bitcoin since June 18th, I believe, right? We've been in this channel, okay? And being able to read this channel as either a consolidation reversal or a redistribution is crucial, right? That it can be a life-changing thing, right? If you read this as a redistribution, right? Sorry. If you read this as a redistribution, basically you know that there's more downside, okay? So, however you're reading it, you're probably not going to start buying in, okay? At least not on leverage. Maybe on spot, you expose yourself a little bit. But if you're reading this as a consolidation reversal, here you're buying the bottom of the market. Maybe because you're seeing a rounded bottom, maybe because you're reading your AB bases, all that stuff. This is it. This is what it all comes down to right here. I can't draw it. I'm going to try this one more time. Oh, I got it. This is what it all comes down to. Being able to read this. What is this? Is this a consolidation reversal? Is this a redistribution channel? Is this some sort of, continuation of this trend? Or is this the end of the trend yielding a reversal? Right? That is the big question. People who answer it properly, correctly, are going to gain a lot. That's it. That's as simple as that. Okay? So that's the bet. That's what you got to figure out. Use whatever tools you like. Elliott wave, Gann analysis, Wyckoff theory, simple candlestick analysis. Use your indicators. Whatever you want. You just have to figure out what the hell have we been doing in price action for the past 100 plus days with Bitcoin. Okay? If you can figure that out, you can make life-changing money. Okay? Thus far, and now let me take a break and just peep the comments. So Dan says, TA on PMA, please. Okay, PMA, I'm not sure what that is, but we'll add it to the list to look at a little later in the show. PMA. Okay, let's just add it really quickly so we don't forget. PMA. Okay, so that's the answer you want to sort of figure out. Okay, so on our daily time frame, once again, using our EMAs, and again, these EMAs are going to be different on every time frame, but you're still using the 21 and 55 and 144 on these charts, but they're going to look a little different because you changed time frames, yeah? But on the daily time frame, right now, we're holding the 21, okay? That tells you a lot. Okay, again, what does the 21 EMA is really a magic EMA. That's why I've got it in yellow, a can't miss color. And if we, right now, what you can see is an EMA squeeze, as it were, okay? An EMA squeeze. We got the price action between the 55 and the 21 exponential moving averages. If it pops up, it's likely to pop up towards the top of this channel. Like, you don't need your EMAs to answer that, but your next immediate target is 25K, right? The top of this channel, okay? And what you can see sometimes is EMAs being overshot, then retested, and this is what I was saying. My target for this next big move that I'm saying that Bitcoin's about to pull and the rest of the cryptocurrency market is actually 30,000, okay? So redrawing this, you can see that you do have some resistance both with the 144 EMA and the top of the channel. But if we're really bullish, what we're going to do is we're going to overshoot. We're going to run through, hit the larger resistance here at 30K, retest the top of this 104 or 105 or however long 100 plus day channel, and at the same time the top of the 144 EMA before continuing. Okay, so this is what I've been saying, and that's why I think that's a likely move for Bitcoin, and this is what I expect. I expect this to happen sooner than later, okay? And one of the last reasons I expect this to happen sooner than later is that there is something to be said for symmetry, okay? Once again, bottoms are characterized by rounded patterns. Tops are characterized by rounded patterns. Here you can see your rounded bottom. To continue this rounded bottom pattern, you would have to be breaking out sooner than later, okay? It's not like you can't keep going and say you have a rounded bottom. That's not a rounded bottom, okay? It is now or never. You're being squeezed by these two EMAs. You want to complete your rounded bottom. You go out, okay? So that's Bitcoin. Now, let's have a look at some altcoins, because we all know that in this coming bull run, things that are going to run before Bitcoin are going to, altcoins are going to run before Bitcoin, right? There's just Bitcoin and altcoins, even Ethereum's an altcoin. And so we can expect Bitcoin to lag in this respect. So what we should be able to do is look around and look at other altcoins and see what Bitcoin's likely to do in the near future, okay? So you have VRA that's up, maybe 8% now, and it's actually not ahead of Bitcoin in that respect, because its channel for consolidation reversal over 100 plus days was weaker, okay? And what do I mean by that is simply, instead of being straight like the Bitcoin channel, right, that was straight, it has a straight consolidation reversal. This channel is slanted down, okay? And this slanting down essentially tells you that it had strong sell pressure, okay? Strong sell pressure that the asset wasn't necessarily, the fundamentals or the interest wasn't able to counteract. So, as it was consolidating, it was following this diagonal downtrend. Right? It's still in a channel. It's still a legal channel. This initial break of structure is still kind of corralling or dictating the dip in this subsequent move, okay? It's not like, whatever subsequent B wave went beyond the phi ratio, okay? But it just dipped, okay? So right now it's just catching up a little bit, and again, you can see that prices between the 21 and the 55 EMA. Not yet being squeezed, but it's between those two, okay? So it's not yet there. I would say that Veracity is an altcoin that you wouldn't say is front-running Bitcoin. However, looking at another green altcoin for today is XRP, and I discussed this yesterday. XRP is a bit ahead of Bitcoin and a lot of other assets, because this 140 plus day channel has already been broken to the upside, and actually the channel is like this. It, just like I'm saying what I expect Bitcoin to do, XRP did exactly that. It rode the 21 EMA and it crossed bullish on the 21 and the 55 EMA. It not only met the 144 EMA, which is also at the top of the channel, at the top of this consolidation reversal channel, but it broke it, just like I said I was expecting Bitcoin to, and retested it, and now is ready to do a continuation. You guys see how that works? Like, I didn't base my Bitcoin analysis on XRP. I just based it off what I've seen time and time again in bullishly inclined assets, right? That's how bullish patterns work. Bearish patterns work the same way, but opposite, right? You break support, you retest it as resistance, and then you continue on your merry way. So this is exactly what I'm seeing, and that's what's likely in my estimation. You want to attack the top of the channel and breach it, retest it as support, and then go on. Okay, so that's XRP, showing you what I think is likely to happen in Bitcoin sooner than later. Dogecoin is another. It's slightly ahead of Bitcoin, right? You guys see how not everything's doing the same thing, but there's a similar pattern. There's a similar rhythm to the market, right? You have your long, drawn-out consolidation reversal pattern, right? And you're consolidating at the bottom. You formed a rounded bottom right here, okay? And this is the rounded bottom that I'm pointing out on Bitcoin as well. And what happened in this rounded bottom? You're breaking out of the rounded bottom, okay? And so Dogecoin is slightly ahead of Bitcoin because you see this one, this 21 and this 55 EMA. What happened? Dogecoin squeezed up and out of it, and now retesting the 55 to continue on up. Okay, and again, I don't think it's going to stop at the 144 here. I think it's going to break through the 144, find resistance, retest the 144, then go. Guys, you see the patterns? It's all patterns. It's similar stuff, right? But it's different, right? Everything's a little different. Let's see. Litecoin's kind of where Bitcoin's at, right between the 21 and the 55 EMA. BNB is a little different, okay? It's a little ahead, slightly, okay? It's broken beyond the 21 and the 55 EMA, but it's not there yet. But you could say BNB is ahead because it's at the top of its consolidation reversal channel. It's essentially at the top of it, okay? So that's BNB. We saw Dogecoin, VRA, I think we looked at already. Synthetics, I don't really care. Ethereum's kind of like BNB, right? But not as far along, okay? You see that Ethereum is actually a little bit behind Bitcoin right now, right? You can see Ethereum's just now trying to get ahead or get up above that 21 EMA, right? Whereas Bitcoin's between the 21 and the 55. Do you see that? So you can compare relative strengths a number of ways, but one of the ways you can do this is just by using your EMAs on a similar time frame. RSR. This is another altcoin that's ahead of the game, okay? This is your channel, your consolidation reversal channel at what we would think, what we're assuming to be the bottom of the market. And you can see that what happened at the bottom here, you created a rounded bottom and you pumped up to the top and you broke the top. You're retesting. Here you're retesting all three of these EMAs, right? Your 21, your 55, and your 144. You're retesting that. That is when you really moon, okay? So like, and I started the live stream discussing the whole idea that you're trying to make a bet, and your bet is determining what will happen after this channel is finished, meaning price actually breaks up and out of this channel or down from this channel. Okay, that is the major bet. And you can do that a number of ways. You can analyze that a number of ways. And one of the ways you can try and figure out what's going on is by looking at other assets. Okay? So if you look laterally at RSR, at XRP, at Doge, and you're like, those are breaking up and out, right? It's very likely that Bitcoin do the same. Very, very likely. And then, for people who ask, well, why is Bitcoin behind? There's no reason it should be. It's the king coin. It's because it's alt season. When things are going up, altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin. When things are going down, altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin on the way down, right? Altcoins are always going to outperform Bitcoin, either to the positive or negative. So it should make sense to you, okay? But now back to RSR, we can see RSR has done exactly what we expect from Bitcoin. You consolidated at the bottom of the channel, you broke this channel to the upside, you're retesting it as support. Now, if our bet was that we're going to, like, Crypto Savvy or what's his name? The guy's always on Kitco News. He trades traditional stocks. Soloway, Garrett Soloway. They say, Bitcoin's going to 10, 12K or 6K or whatever. If you're of that persuasion, what you want to see is these assets hitting resistance, retesting them as, or hitting resistance, bouncing down, retesting them as resistance, and then creating lower lows. Okay, that's essentially, effectively the move you want to see. What you saw in XRP should worry you. What you're seeing in reserve rights should worry you. Okay? And again, just using your EMAs, and again, just to reiterate, price action is king. If you want to save time, people think you save time by learning an EMA strategy and you simplify your life. You don't. I'll repeat that. People think you save time and you simplify your life by learning an EMA strategy. I guess, as opposed to going through the time and effort it takes to learn how to do price action. Learn both. If you don't learn price action, you're just going to make things more difficult for you. You're not building a solid foundation. You're going to confuse yourself. Learn price action, get comfortable reading price action, add the indicators after. All the indicators will make sense. You will build a really functional, practical knowledge of how to use indicators so much better than if you just jump into using indicators because you think you're avoiding a process. There is no shortcut to learning how to read fluently, learning how to read charts fluently. There's no shortcut. You just have to put in the work and, you do the work. And it's not the worst thing in the world. It's very rewarding. So just do it and then add the indicators after. In any case, what you're seeing in RSR is breaching these indicators, retesting them. That's literally the last thing you want to see if you're a bear. Retesting indicators as on a high time frame that are key indicators like 2155 and 144 EMA, retesting all three as support and then going on your merry way. That is 99.99% bullish. There's nothing, absolutely nothing bearish about that. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. Let me erase these. And we talked about all this. Let's talk about ADA and Dodo. Okay. So Dodo did a thing the other day, and it tested the tops of this channel with this move right here. Okay. Came back down and retested, basically. It broke through both the 21 and the 55 EMA and is retesting them right now as support. Obviously, you don't want to see that 21 EMA lost. Right now, we're right on it, and it's likely that we move back up. But it's basically put in this huge corrective wave to the upside, huge corrective wave to the downside. You do expect and anticipate some impulse, okay? And that's basically, you're at a breaking point. You do not want to break that 21 EMA for Dodo, okay? If you do, that's a lower low, okay? And what you should see in your, what you should see in your momentum indicator is price or momentum showing you exactly this. So I dropped down on the 4-hourly time frame, and I'm basically showing how your momentum indicator is consolidating in oversold territory. That is very bullish. You're consolidating. You're not just touching oversold territory, you're consolidating on oversold territory. It's very, very bullish. Expect a big move out of there. Okay, in terms of momentum, that momentum is really building right here. Okay, that's basically what this is saying. The RSR is saying momentum's building. Momentum's building. This, when I first started trading, I used to use this technical indicator because I didn't know anything. I didn't know any better. And I think these are derivatives of EMAs and other strategies. But if you just amuse yourself and you go through, you'll see that a lot of them are neutral to buy, whereas they were strong sell some days back. This one's still sell. I think XRP should be a buy. Yeah. I didn't see any strong buys. Not yet. But yeah, neutral to buy, which is encouraging because just days ago they were sell and strong sell, which you do not want to see if you're anticipating continuation. All right, Cardano. Let's go back on the daily time frame. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. Cardano, you're still under that 21 EMA. Okay? You do want to see a move more sooner than later. It's likely that you're going to get one, right? Right here, you're forming some sort of inverse head and shoulders, right? Which is very bullish. And remember, these head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, they're reversal patterns. All right, head and shoulders is a reversal pattern that's bearish. Inverse head and shoulders is a reversal pattern that's bullish. Here you can see on the daily time frame an inverse head and shoulders pattern. It's not good that you're under the daily 21 EMA, but that just means you're at the way bottom, okay? And on the 4-hourly time frame, you're barely hanging on for dear life on that 21 EMA. You're straddling it, okay? You basically came up to between the 21 and the 55 EMA. You squeezed it. You're basically squeezing in and out of it, okay? You're going to want to move up at least to hit your 144 for Cardano, okay? But these are essentially bottomed, okay? You can say that this is a bottom. This is an absolute bottom, okay? On the hourly time frame, same. So high time frame, low time frame, Cardano is at an absolute bottom and teetering on the edge of, okay, it's now or never, okay? But here's that inverse head and shoulders that I was showing just moments ago, okay? This is what you're going to want to put in for Cardano. But, yeah, that is pretty much that. Let's have a quick look. Any other comments? Let's look at PMA for our friend Dan. All right, PMA. Okay, let's zoom out as usual. We start on high time frames. Okay, I do not know when this came on market. And I'm going to assume that this is this chart has the most data that I could possibly use. And I don't know what's going on here. But what I can say at first glance is this is a three-wave move. And what do we know about three-wave moves? Corrections come in threes, right? Corrections come in three-wave moves, by and large, okay? I know you can have zigzags and double zigzags. They also come in threes, and those are impulsive. But by and large, corrections come in threes. So I have some sort of corrective drawdown, and then a corrective move up that seemed to go from March for a year, from 2020 to 2021, 3 waves up, and then it looked like this move down, which was impulsive. Okay, maybe impulsive, maybe not impulsive, maybe it's still part of a correction. This is the first chart that I'm looking at the last move on, and I don't know that this correction, whatever it is finished. Meaning, I would not be surprised if we got another one of this before we got that. Does that make sense? Like, this is the first chart I'm looking at, and I'm looking at this drawdown, the most recent drawdown, and it doesn't strike me as conclusive. Okay, it may very well be conclusive. That there's possibility that it may very well be that this is WXY, and this Y is a zigzag, and that's all she wrote, and we consolidate reverse on the way up. So let's examine that. Let's go in smaller time frames. Let's drill down and see what we've got here. Let's take off our EMAs. Let's clean up our chart. Price action first. Okay. The other thing I could say about this chart is it's I don't know if it's because of the exchange or it's more reflective of the way that the asset is traded, but it's a messy chart. There's a lot of volatility, right? Like all these, there's a lot of wicks. You know, it's unusually wicky. I know a lot of small cap, very small cap projects get like that, but they don't look like this. I don't know what that means. I can't tell you like, oh, that means that it's only traded on X exchange, or that it's people are trading it a lot, or I don't know, but this is odd. You don't see this every day. That's something else I'll say, okay? So just be wary that it's unusual. It's unorthodox, that chart. Okay? So let's look at this. This is definitely one wave, a counter wave, and this does strike me as a WXY. I do want to say that this is a double zigzag. And when does this hit? In May sometime? Or June. Okay, around when Bitcoin hit. Okay, so looking at it on a smaller time frame, I think that this is on Bitcoin's schedule. Okay, and this is the beauty of crypto these days. Everything's kind of doing its own thing, but at the same time, there are just a few, how would you say? There's a few models or a few templates, right? There's the Bitcoin and Ethereum template creating an orthodox low on June 18th. There's the altcoin template creating that orthodox low on May 12th. There's just those two templates. There's that, just that, right? And that pretty much encompasses all of the price action in the market. But yeah, I'm seeing this as a double zigzag, to be honest. I'm sorry, I'm reading it. Because I am not seeing this portion right here as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 situation. This looks almost exactly like what Bitcoin printed. It's a 1, 2, 3 wave move here, 1, 2, 3 wave move here, 1, 2, 3 wave move here. And while it was happening, I could not read it for the life of me because I was not comfortable with double zigzags. I just hadn't seen them enough, so I could not read it. And when you're a hammer, everything's a nail. I kind of was upper intermediate trader, upper intermediate analyst, and for me, I was trying to read it as a 5-wave move, because I was like, every impulsive move to end a correction happens in 5 waves. So I was trying to contort it to read 5 waves, but it's not 5 waves. Okay, so the more I see this, I've seen this before. That's a double zigzag, almost for sure. Okay, so that's an A, B, C. That's a flat correction, or a zigzag rather, and then a double zigzag in the impulse of the zigzag. Okay, so that's how I'm reading this. That is complete. I'm done. We're good. I don't think anything's coming up after that. And this, again, very, very similar to Bitcoin, gives you this consolidation reversal pattern of 100 plus days. Here you have let's see, 76 days, so a little less than Bitcoin. Okay, but you still have that June 18 orthodox low. You see that? Why is it less? Sorry, it's 93 days. 93 days here. But yeah, shouldn't it be 100? Because it did set its orthodox low on the same time as Bitcoin did. So I'm not really sure why. This chart is incomplete. Guys, do you see this? I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Look at this. September 19th, it stopped trading. This stopped trading September 19th. This time frame should be exactly 100 and, whatever. What's today? Today's the 6th. 110 days. It should be over here. So something's up with this chart. Not only is it very wiki in a way that is unorthodox, but also it's literally stopped printing candles at the beginning of September. Or September 19th, rather. So, but just generally speaking, this looks very much like Bitcoin. So I'm expecting something like this. Again, like this chart's all fucked up because it's not printing anymore. I don't have any data after September 19th, but it looks essentially like Bitcoin. So you can save yourself some time. It's on the Bitcoin template. June 18th orthodox low. It's creating a 110-day consolidation reversal pattern. I expect that channel to break up and out. Okay. And then start its bull run. That's it. Hope that was helpful. Alright. So Dan says, would be happy to know TA for PMA BTC pairs also. If there is such a chart, I mean, I'll look really quickly, but it should be the same shit. Young Dasa says Zcash. Alright, so let's have a quick look at PMA, Bitcoin. Puma Pay. The first thing I wanted to read was Pump Pay. Pump Pay, for some reason. Okay, this is illegible. I mean, this is the daily time frame, and it's reading like it's the second. There's a lack of data here. Okay, this is exactly what you get when you have no data, right? If you have, back when I didn't have, I wasn't paying for TradingView, and I went on small enough time frame, this is what the chart looked like. The fact that we're on the daily time frame and it looks like this, you can't use this chart. This is unusable. Okay. And I've said this before, I'm hesitant to trade anything. I don't care what the fundamentals are if I can't chart it, because then you're just going blind. All those years of learning how to trade and trying to get an edge, I'm basically throwing that away if I'm investing in something blindly without a chart. Because a lot of times, remember, it's not what you're investing in, it's when you're investing in it as well. That's equally as important. Yeah. So I can't read that, unfortunately. Let's pull up Zcash for Young Dasa. Let's see what the hell's going on here. Oh, I didn't erase this. There we go. Hourly time frame. Okay. This thing has been, I mean, it went up with this initial break of structure, and it's been in this B wave for seemingly forever. Just bleeding. It hasn't been forever. It's been 4 days, but it felt like forever because I'm clearly in this trade. I'm fine, but goodness gracious, can we get some more of this? Just looking at this, I'm like, this is gonna turn around. It's gonna turn around here. It's gonna turn around here. It's gonna turn around here. It keeps making lower lows. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. Let's see. That's looking promising. This, just back to Bitcoin really quickly. This corrective pattern right here looks finished. This looks like a consolidation reversal right here. Whatever's happening. And the reason you know that is because you've come up all the way up here to really initiate that break of structure, to emphasize the fact that whatever was happening on the way down here, it's over right there. Okay? And you're finding a way to change that trend on the smaller time frame. So it looks good. It's just a matter of time. It's going through its consolidation reversal, but this is that corrective move that you wanted. And oh, let me show you something. So I've said this on the channel before. Waves of the same degree are equal or comparable in time and in price. Okay, so saying that this is an initial wave, an initial impulsive wave, so wave 1 or something like that. So that's 1 day, 21 hours. You take the distance or the time it took for this purported wave 2. Okay, 1 day and 18 hours. This is exactly what you want to see. Okay, this is exactly what you want to see for wave 1, wave 2 correction. So many things are exhibiting, well, no, not this, because this is an A wave and this is likely a B wave or something like that. Let's see. But so many things are exhibiting this. So just prove it to yourselves. Like, all of this can be relegated to theory unless you do the work, and this is the work of charting and applying these things and proving it to yourself that, oh, this theory is actually very practical, and you see it time and time again. Yeah? Okay? So this is, yeah. Right here. So you see how I did that? I take my impulse, or my purported impulse, 5 waves up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3 waves down. I'm not adding this beautiful inverse head and shoulders, reverse pitchfork reversal right here. I'm not adding that. I'm just adding the orthodox low of this 3-wave flat correction. But you see the principle, or you want to call it a guideline in Elliott wave theory. Waves of the same degree are equal or comparable in time and in price. You typically see that equality, that parity in waves 1 and 2. So if this is wave 1 and that's wave 2, you get 1 day and 15 hours, 1 day 13 hours. That's exactly what you want to see for continuation to the upside. That gives you a lot of confidence that, okay, there's something here, okay? And just go down the line. If you're new to this stuff and you want to prove it to yourself, none of this stuff will be something that you're willing to put money on until you can prove it to yourself enough times. I'll repeat, none of this stuff is something that you're going to be willing to put money on unless you can prove it to yourselves. I can know it. I know it for myself. I can't really communicate all the hours and the time and the experiences I've had understanding the rule, reading the theory, and then looking it up, and then reading chart after chart after chart after chart, and then seeing it play out. That gives me the confidence to be able to put big money on it and say, this is highly likely, there's always a chance I can lose, but it's highly likely that this happened next because of this X, Y, and Z. And that's one of them, right? I see parity, I see I see equality in time. And, when we're looking at Elliott waves, you're not just looking at price, you're looking at time as well. Okay, let's have a look at Zcash. And guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. Whoops, that's not the chart I wanted. Where is it anyway? I've pulled up the Zcash chart a few times. Which one do I want? The trading view chart. Okay. So yeah, smaller time frame, because I think I've discussed Zcash in the recent past, so I'm not going to go over the high time frame read, but smaller time frame, I think we can say that this is likely a 5-wave move up. Okay, from there to there, 2 days, 6 hours, and then this is a 3-wave move down. Finishing over here. 1 day, 5 hours. Okay. Now, why do I say comparable? A lot of people say equal in time and in price. I say comparable. Comparable because when you're looking at price, for instance, you're looking at a 0.618 or 0.5 or 0.382 relationship, right? So you pull the Fibonacci retracement tool and you see that price goes up and comes down and retraces to between the 382 and the 618, okay? It's not 1-to-1. I know some people say, oh, wave 2 can retrace all the way to 1, completely of the first impulse. It can't. It cannot, okay? That's not the equality you're looking for, and that's why I don't say equality. I say parity, right? Some sort of some sort of proportionality, yeah? So that's half of, so it goes up impulsively and then it retraces half, more or less, of that distance. In terms of time, you have 2 days and 6 hours, and sometimes you get this, and now you have 1 day and 5 hours. That's approximately half of the time. Sometimes you get that. 61.8% of the time, we all know that's a phi ratio, or half the time. Do you see? You don't always get exactly the same time 1-to-1. Sometimes, a lot of times you do, but sometimes you don't. But that's okay as well. So that's kind of another level of that parity or that proportionality that you're looking for in terms of time and price. All right. So that Zcash on the smaller time frame. Again, I'm not going to go on the higher time frames. Just because we've looked at this quite a few times, I believe. Let me just zoom out and make sure. Yeah, I've looked at this quite a few times. I remember this chart. Yeah, that's essentially what you're dealing with, yeah? And here, this looks to me like an A-B. This looks to me very much like PMA, or what we looked at. Like, you have this sort of corrective sequence, right? And then this, you get your double zigzag that you pretty much got throughout the market. And that's the end of this huge correction, taking you to new heights, yeah? That was our analysis for Zcash. But looking good for reversal. I mean, again, you know, theory to practice. And how does theory become practice? Reading over and over every day, little bit, reading, and you're seeing patterns over and over and over and over and over again. That's how the rules became. That's how these rules came to be. Somebody took enough time to read charts for long enough and saw patterns, and then started explaining or putting down or articulating the different patterns that they saw. That's it, right? When we say that bottoms are usually rounded bottoms and tops are usually rounded tops, that's exactly what we're talking about. You see that on the smaller time frame, you see that on the larger time frame. When I say pitchfork reversal, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's all from experience. If you want to get good at charting, you want to get good at reading, you want to get good at trading, you got to put in the time. There's no shortcut. You got to put in the time. Look at the charts. Understand, you don't have to recreate the wheel or reinvent the wheel. Use the theory people have outlined about what they have observed in the market, and then apply it and make it your own, because you're going to find some inconsistencies depending on whatever school of thought you espouse, right? Certain things like, people saying that wave 2 can retrace to 100% of wave 1. That's the biggest bullshit. I've never seen it in my life. Every retracement that I've seen go to 100% or beyond 100% was not an impulsive wave. It was an A-B wave. It was a corrective wave. So for me, taking that theory and making it mine took reading and trying to apply and observing it, and then I understood, that is people not being able to distinguish between impulsive and corrective, right? So even people who said that, even people who wrote books who said that, I know for me they're wrong, because in my experience I've never seen it. Does that make sense? You want to be able to do that. You got to make your own. Nobody can do the work for you. Let's take a look at any comments. All right, now let's round out our analysis for the day by looking at the DXY, our market mover, and by looking at Bitcoin dominance. So, the DXY, if it's going up, we're going down. If it's going down, we're going up. Okay? So, for the past day or so, the DXY has been going up, right? But it's been going up in the way we want it to go up. What does that mean? What do I mean by that? It's a three-wave move. What do we know about three-wave moves? They're corrective, okay? So I know a lot of people want to look very simplistically, and I mean, you can look at it this way as well, in terms of lower highs and lower lows. And you do want to make lower highs and lower lows, but we know in Elliott wave theory, it's not only about lower highs and lower lows. You want to count waves. So as long as you can put in a 2-wave correction, a wave 4 correction. What really interests you is the impulse, the direction of the impulse, okay? So if this is a 3-wave move to the upside, and we've been impulsive to the downside, and this 3-wave move has broken the plane of this downtrend, this is very likely a wave 2 correction, okay? So that's the assumption right there. So what we can do is do this. We can take our Elliott wave impulse tool, right? We can say this is wave 1, this is wave 2, and then we can project wave 3. Let's get rid of, let's get rid of our, what's it called? Let's get rid of our momentum indicator, and let's take wave 4, put it here, and wave 5. Let's put it somewhere down here. Okay, so I just, reading this, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, wave 3 is about the same distance as wave 1. I would assume wave 5 would be a little longer, but let's just say that this is a legit 5-wave sequence. Okay, if this is wave 2, what we can expect, one, we have a 3-wave move, so it's a zigzag. Okay, and what do we know about wave 2? They typically come in zigzags. They typically retrace to 0.382 between the 0.5 and the 618. Okay, you typically don't get a shallow 382 retracement for wave 2. So I'm taking my Fibonacci retracement tool, and what do I see? That this wave 2 has come to the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement of wave 1. Now what I want to do is take my Fibonacci extension tool and take the length of this wave 1, retracement of wave 2, and I want to target the phi ratio right here, the 1618. So my wave 3 is likely to be about somewhere down here. Wave 4 come up, retrace, 382 of wave 3, 236 to 382, and then wave 5 end up down here somewhere. Actually, wave 5 should end up to a minimum of the 2236. So down here somewhere, okay? So now let's zoom back out. Let's actually turn on the lines here. It's right here. Turn up the opacity. Okay, and zoom out on the weekly. Okay. So this is what we've projected, more or less, given what we've already printed. Okay, again, this isn't 100%. Is it going to look exactly like this? I don't know. But this is just a projection using basic patterns, basic, how would you call that? Trends that we've observed in time as Elliottians in these wave patterns, okay? Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could expect something like this. So I'm going to reconfigure my A wave, because this all will be some sort of A wave, yeah? Or is this? No. Yeah, this could be an A wave. It could be a 535. Remember, if you get a 535, that's a zigzag. Anything that's 335 is a flat correction. Anything that's 535 is a zigzag, okay? So 5 waves, 3 waves, 5 waves, that's a zigzag, okay? So if I see 5 waves here, I'm going to need 3 waves here, and I'm going to need 5 waves back down, okay? So that's more than likely, given what we've already printed. You guys see how that works? A flat correction, and I remember I said this before, I do not expect for us to print a flat correction here, which would assume 3 waves, and then 3 waves usually coming up all the way to the origination point of that 3 waves, right? Making a higher high sometimes, and then finally making a 5-wave move. I said it's more than likely that we get a zigzag, and a zigzag is a 535. So it would be like this. Does everybody see that? That's the correction, and then that's our final target. And I've already talked about why that's our final target, because it's at the same level of wave 2 of the extension of the 5-wave extension. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing in the DXY. Everything's going according to plan. We do want a rejection. We can expect a rejection, a likely rejection of this wave 2 very soon, because we're already at the 0.5 and we do not want to breach the 618. It's unlikely that we breach the 618, right? And then wave 3 is going to be our biggest and longest and most impulsive, by balance of probability. That's going to give us the biggest move, which should correspond with the largest move in Bitcoin and cryptos, right? And we're right about, so like the whole topic of this live stream is big move coming, big move right around the corner. That would coincide with the completion of this wave 2 correction. And again, you have a 3-wave move to the 0.5, to be between the 0.5 and the 6.8 of that wave 1. This is it, or at least it should be. I don't know why it's so sloppy on this time frame, but this is my wave 1. This is my wave 2 right here. Okay, so yeah, guys, I hope this helps. I mean, does that make sense to you? Okay, so that's the DXY. Let's have a quick look at the BTC Dominance. Again, I do think that Dominance is going to come up here. I could be wrong, but I think it's going to come up here and find resistance here before crashing down. Basically, what I'm saying is Bitcoin's going to run, altcoins are going to run, everything's going to run together, and then altcoins are going to separate distinctively from Bitcoin at the top here, and going to start to really show. It's kind of like a race. Everybody starts and they're almost neck and neck, and then Usain Bolt turns on the afterburners, and those are the altcoins that are going to outperform Bitcoin, and that's when they're going to see Bitcoin dominance tank. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That is the analysis, guys. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was useful. I hope you're having a great Thursday. Do like, share, and subscribe if you haven't yet. And if there's nothing else, I'm going to call it a stream. Is there anything else anybody wants me to look at? If not, guys, take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.